Hi there, Jennifer here. Today I'll be sharing with you how to join granny hexagon motifs using a join-as-you-go method. For this tutorial, I'm using as an example my petals motif. I used this motif in the Moonlit Petals and Vintage Petals blankets. Both patterns feature these large three-dimensional flowers with a granny hexagon background. Because these motifs work up quickly in bulky weight yarn, you'll have a finished blanket in no time. Perfect for gifting, decorating your home, or simply enjoying as a cozy, relaxing project. I'll leave the links to these patterns in the description. Let's begin. For this tutorial, I'm using Lion brand Hue and Me bulky weight acrylic yarn and a size K 6.5mm crochet hook. You'll want to use the appropriate hook size for the yarn you're using, or whatever is listed in the pattern. You'll also need a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle. So I have here the first motif, motif number 1 that I've already completed, and it's the one that I'm going to be joining to. And then I also have my second motif, which I have completed up through round 3, and I'm ready to begin round 4. You can go ahead and set your first motif aside for now, and we'll just concentrate on motif number 2. To begin round 4, slip stitch in the next double crochet. So you skip the first double crochet, just go straight to the next double crochet, work a slip stitch in there, and then slip stitch in the next chain 2 space as well. And this just kind of gets us over to the first corner chain 2 space so we can work our first corner. Begin with a chain 3. This counts as the first double crochet of your round. Work a double crochet in that same chain 2 space, and then chain 2, and work 2 more double crochet into that same chain 2 space. Chain 1, and work 2 double crochet in the next chain 1 space. Chain 1 again, and then work 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet in the next chain 2 space. Here's our last 2 double crochet. So you'll repeat that sequence, working a chain 1, 2 DC in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, 2 DC, chain 2, 2 DC in the next chain 2 space. You're going to repeat that 2 more times. So across here and across here, and I'll meet you over there to show you this next part. Alright, so I've worked my 3 sides, repeating that sequence 2 more times, and I'm ready for this side. So much like before, you're going to chain 1 and make 2 double crochet in the next chain 1 space, chain 1 again, and this time in this next chain 2 space just work 2 double crochets and a chain 1 and then stop. So here's 1 double crochet and the second one, and then I'm going to chain 1 and then go ahead and grab motif 1 and find any corner chain 2 space. So choose one. We're going to work into this one here. We're going to join it to this chain 2 space. Now typically, as you may recall, all of our corners there are made with chain 2 spaces. So since now that I've gotten to this corner, I've made 1 chain, and our join that we're going to make is going to count as our second chain. So insert your hook into that chain 2 space on your adjacent motif, yarn over and pull through that space, and then pull through the loop on your hook to complete the slip stitch join. So you see how it kind of looks like there's 2 chains there. That little join that we did counts as that second chain. And then coming back to our current motif, we're going to work 2 double crochets into the current chain 2 space, the same chain 2 space that you worked your last 2 double crochets into. Okay, so there's what that looks like. Not too hard, right? Now for our next join, we're going to be working into the chain 1 space in between 2 DC groups on your adjacent motif. So go ahead and insert your hook into that space, yarn over, and pull through the space and through the loop on your hook to complete the join. And again, that kind of counts as the chain. It just is acting as the chain there. So you don't need to make any extra chains, just the join. And then work 2 double crochets into the next chain 1 space on your current motif. Like so. And then we'll work another join in the adjacent motif, making a slip stitch into that next chain 1 space. So skip these 2 double crochets and insert your hook in the next chain 1 space on the adjacent motif, yarn over and pull through the space, and then pull through the loop on your hook to complete the join. We've reached the next corner. Work 2 double crochets in this next chain 2 space on your current motif. And then find the chain 2 space, the next chain 2 space on the adjacent motif, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through the space, and then pull through the loop on your hook to complete that join. And that completes the join as you go section for that motif. Now, as you recall, just like our first corner over here, we're going to need to chain 1. So we have what is like 2 chains there, and then work 2 double crochets in this chain 2 space, which is the same space that we made our last 2 double crochets into. Then chain 1, and see, we're no longer working into this other motif where that section is complete, and now we're focusing solely on the current motif. We're going to make 2 double crochets in this next chain 1 space, chain 1, and then we're going to join with a slip stitch in the top of the beginning chain 3. 1, 2, 3, right there. Go ahead and remove your hook and cut your yarn. Pull the yarn through the loop and cinch it up to fasten it off. And your motif joining on one side is complete. Next, I'll show you how to join on 3 sides. Here I have my Vintage Petals blanket. You can see how I've begun the next row of motifs by joining this first motif to the end motif on one side only. Okay, well, I've zoomed in a little bit so we can see our work here a little bit better. And I've also completed the first 3 rounds of my second motif for this row of motifs. And I've also worked the beginning of round 4. So I have this first corner completed, we've got this first side completed, the next corner complete, and this next side completed up to 2 double crochet in the next chain 2 space and then chain 1. At that point, you're ready to begin the JAYGO section to place your motif in that space. So again, we're joining along these 3 sides to complete our motif as we complete our motif. So your first place that you want to join on the adjacent motif, so the first one we're going to join to is this first motif in our row, and we're going to join to the chain 2 space that is at the bottom far bottom left, right there. So insert your hook into that chain 2 space, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook to complete the slip stitch join. Next we're going to work 2 double crochets into the same chain 2 space that we made our last 2 double crochets. So just like so. Sometimes you need to cinch up your yarn before you do that. My stitch was looking a little big. Okay, so 2 double crochets into here, and then we're going to work a slip stitch in the next chain 1 space on the adjacent motif. So again, insert your hook into that chain 2 space or chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook to complete that slip stitch join. Next, work 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space on your current motif. So into that next chain 1 space, this is my first double crochet and my second double crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch into the next chain 1 space on the adjacent motif. So right into there. Oops. Okay, so next we've reached our corner, chain 2 space. We're going to work 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space. And next we'll be joining to these 2 motifs with the next 2 slip stitches. So start by slip stitching into the next chain 2 space on this motif, on the most recent one that we've been working into. So yarn over and pull that through that chain 2 space and through the loop on your hook to complete the join. Next we're going to move to this motif, the next one in our group, in our sequence here, and we're going to insert our hook into the chain 2 space on this motif. Now it's already been worked into when we joined it here, but that's okay. We're going straight into that same place. Next chain 2 space on the next adjacent motif. So slip stitch in that one, and that takes care of the join in between that corner. Now we're ready to work 2 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space as the last 2 double crochets that we worked. So right there. That's my first double crochet and my second double crochet. And so see, that's what that looks like. We've got that whole corner taken care of, and the whole side too. And we're ready to work the next side while joining to this motif over here. So our next step is to join in that chain 1 space on our adjacent motif. So slip stitch in that chain 1 space, and then work 2 double crochets in the next chain 1 on your current motif. So this is my second double crochet right there. And next I'm going to slip stitch join in the next chain 1 space on the adjacent motif, like so. We've reached our next corner. I'm going to work 2 double crochets in that next chain 2 space. And then, just like we did before, we're going to slip stitch join in each of these motifs. So we'll work into that chain 2 space here first. Insert your hook in the chain 2 space of this motif, yarn over and pull through, then pull through the loop on your hook to complete the slip stitch join. So we've completed joining this entire side, working this side while joining to this whole side of this motif. And now it's time to move to the next motif. So here's the next chain 2 space. We're going to insert our hook in the chain 2 space of this next adjacent motif, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook to complete the slip stitch join. We can return to our current motif now and work 2 more double crochets into the same chain 2 space as the last 2 double crochets we made. Okay, I need to kind of rotate everything a little bit so that I can, there we are, so I can work into this last side. So now we're going to be working this side while joining to this side, no, to this motif. So our next step after we've made these 2 double crochets is to work a slip stitch into the next chain 1 space, like so. And then work 2 double crochets in this next chain 1 space on our current motif. And then slip stitch in the next chain 1 space on the adjacent motif. And then we've reached the next corner, so we're going to work 2 double crochets in that chain 2 space. And then we're going to slip stitch in this last chain 2 space on our adjacent motif. And with that, the JAYGO section is complete. So you can see we've joined on 3 sides there while working those last 3 sides there. And all we have left to do is complete this little bitty section here. And so we no longer need to join to anything. We're just going to finish off our round. So we've joined to that last motif, or last chain 2 space over here. We just need to finish this corner with a chain 1 and then 2 double crochet in the chain 2 space, the same chain 2 space as the last 2 double crochets that we made. Then chain 1, and we'll work 2 double crochets in this last chain 1 space. Chain 1, and then join at the top of your beginning chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to join right there. Slip stitch in that chain. You can cut your yarn, remove your hook, and pull the yarn through to fasten off, and your motif is complete. And the join is complete as well. So here's what that looks like. Your joining on 3 sides is complete. In working this pattern, you'll also come across some situations where you'll need to join on 2 sides. And so I have my 2 motifs here, and I'm going to be joining on these 2 sides. And I've completed my current motif up through round 3, and I've also completed 3 sides here, stopping before the end, I'm about at the middle of the last corner here, and I'm ready to join. Now, since you've already seen how to do 3 sides, joining on 2 sides should be a piece of cake, but I'll go ahead and show you really quickly so that you know what to expect. With that, our join as you go on 2 sides is complete. I hope you enjoyed learning how to join as you go, and that you get a lot of use out of this technique. If you'd like a written version of the pattern, visit the links in the description below. Your purchase directly supports me as an independent designer and helps me to continue creating patterns and content like this. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more crochet techniques, tips, and tutorials, and check out the links in the video notes for more ways to find me and my patterns.